Welcome to Perception versus Reality, Sports and Culture, where we cover sports from a different angle and bring you topics most podcasts and radio shows will not cover. I'm your host, Rodney Ep.6, and welcome my co-hosts, Neely, Mr. Sports IQ, Lemuel, aka Limwood, and Stanley, known on Instagram as Third World 870. Please enjoy this PvR clip and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So proceeding on to the next topic, I want to touch bases on this current situation with Alonzo Ball. Alonzo Ball, over the weekend, initially did an interview with ESPN. ESPN wrote an article detailing how he, I guess it was $1.5 million came up missing in Alonzo's personal account. And yes, his account was tied to Big Baller Brand and the company there. But it was said that maybe 6 months ago his accountant was doing his taxes, and the 1.5 million he couldn't account for. And he went to LeVar and Allen, and Allen pretty much confirmed with the account, like, yeah, I'll get you the details and the receipts on what the money was spent on, so they can, write it off for taxes and just handle business the right way. And the accountant, became upset because as he continued to reach out to Allen, who was the business partner of LeVar Ball, and you'll see him on Ball and the Family show on not ESPN, but Facebook, where he was reaching out to him and he would never give him the paperwork. I think he said he only gave him receipts for 500,000 of the 1.5 million, and even those receipts were sketchy. So they determined that the money came up missing. The accountant actually walked away from ZO. He resigned from Alonzo and Big Baller Brand because he didn't want to get caught up in any scandal because that money had come up missing. And Alonzo eventually went to his dad and said, "Hey, have we solved this yet?" And his daddy went to Allen, had not solved the issue allegedly, and decided to call the accountant back. The accountant came back. Decided to rejoin Alonzo Ball, and they decided to go to Allen and see what's going on with the money. He couldn't produce receipts, so Alonzo pretty much severed ties with him. Decided to terminate his contract with Allen. And there's nothing he could do about Big Baller Brand because Allen owns 16.3% of Big Baller Brand. So that came out Thursday or Friday. Then, as we proceeded into the weekend, I read something this morning from a couple of reputable sources and news networks where Alonzo deleted all his Big Baller Brand info off his IG and from Twitter. He deleted any pictures he had with LeVar. They said he's actually severing ties with LeVar also, which is shocking to me. And I guess he decided to blame LeVar for hiring Allen, knowing that Allen had a criminal background. Allen, for those listeners that don't know, was prosecuted a few years ago on embezzling $2 million. And he served 5 to 7 years in prison. He received a 5 to 7 year sentence. I don't know how much he actually served, but him and LeVar hooked up when both of their sons were playing for the same team. And where is he from, Liam? What's the name of the city they're from? In LA, in Los Angeles area.
Yeah, it's Los Angeles area.
Yeah, it's Los Angeles area. Yeah. But they were playing ball together, and from what I'm seeing on Twitter, also on Instagram, LaMelo Ball, he deleted all his Big Baller Brand information as well as Jello. Nobody really cares about Jello though. But besides the point, they deleted all their information, and it seems like LaMelo made the comment that, "Hey, big bro, we're standing with you. We love you, and thank you for removing us from this situation." So I don't know if everybody's cutting ties with LeVar. I hope that's not the case because I am a fan of LeVar, and I wanted to see him win because so many people wanted him to lose and was hoping for this situation here. And I was proud to see a black father take his black sons and build them a brand where they don't have to go and join another brand and get a percentage of what they're doing. They can actually build their own brand. And I will say this before I pass it on to my co-host. If Lonzo cut those ties with Big Baller Brand, I think it's the right decision to catch this early before your second contract and get Allen out of the picture. I don't think you cut ties with your father. I don't think you cut ties with Big Baller Brand. For one, that's your father, and yeah, he made a mistake. And maybe you take the reins from him and say, hey, we're gonna bring in an outside professional to help manage this business, and we're gonna let them run it in a professional way instead of letting you run it, and you could just be the face. But what LeVar has done for Big Baller Brand, he has made this brand a worldwide brand. Everybody from the United States to Europe to China to Africa know what Big Baller Brand is, and that's more than you could ever earn in any kind of marketing or anything when you have brand identity around the world, kind of like Coca-Cola, kind of like GE, kind of like Nike, Puma, companies like that who you just recognize the brand. Versace, Gucci, Coach, any of those brands. So with that being said, I don't think he should walk away from that, because I think walking away from that is walking away from $100 million. The way they built that brand and the way they built the name recognition. So I think he should stay. I think he should go to LeVar and get new management in place, more professional management, a full marketing team, and they should run it like a real business. I think they should either sue Allen or buy out his shares for a little or nothing, so he won't be involved anymore. But this is a touchy situation. It's kind of disappointing to me. Ma'am, I'm gonna go to you first. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. Well, I think in this situation, the more I think about it, I think too Lonzo is just not cutting the ties on the business end. I think he probably is also thinking about his career playing, as far as like, every time something happens, his dad come out with comments, or and his comments kind of pushes LA to say, hey man, let's look at trading him. And Lonzo wants to play in LA. So I think it has to do with that as well. I think it's accumulation of things. The more I think about it, it's accumulation of things that's happened to where he's like, man, I just want a fresh start so I can, because my career isn't where I want it to be, and I just wanted to enhance it. And he just probably feels the best way to do that is to just have a business split, because what he's probably thinking, if I play ball well, the business will be there. So, what can I do to help myself become a better player, become more marketable? So I'm thinking maybe he's thinking in that realm too. So that's a perspective that we got to think. So, from that point, I see what Lita got to say. We just go from there. I think basketball-wise, it may be a good decision.
Maybe a good deal.
I don't know about
Nearly, do you think it's smart to walk away from the hundreds of millions of dollars of free advertising and brand recognition that they've built with Big Baller Brand, just because you maybe, and I get the fact that he's mad at his father because he said, hey, you hired this guy. You supposed to be watching him while I play ball. I'm playing ball, handling things on the court, so we can continue to build this brand. Do you think he should walk away from that? And what are your thoughts on this overall?
I hate to kind of straddle the fence, but I kind of want to play it down the middle. Like, I think Lonzo should use this as a time, honestly, to make it like more about business with his dad. Like, we almost got to negotiate this thing. Like, I do want your face still on it because, like you said, to me, LeVar built that brand. When I think of Big Baller Brand, honestly, I think of LeVar before I think of Lonzo. So I do still want my dad's face on it. My dad made a mistake. I can't completely, kind of push him out of my life, because I get the impression that if Lonzo severed ties with LeVar, you might really be severing ties with your daddy. Like, he just seems like he has that type of mentality. Like, I don't think you can push him to the side and he say, all right, Lonzo, I'm going to play the back end. I ain't going to get in none of your dealings, do your own thing, son. He doesn't give me off the impression that he's that type of person. But if I was Lonzo, I would want to negotiate with my dad in the sense of, all right, I'm going to do my basketball thing. All of my basketball dealings, you completely stay out of it. Don't come out making remarks about my game, what the team should do, what the coach should do, none of that. And I'm going to completely let you, like you said, get professional advisement behind the Big Baller Brand, and you run that. You market that, and you push us from that side. I'm going to handle the court and my brand on the court. You handle my brand off the court. if LeVar is not willing to stay out of those dealings in that manner, because I think that'll give Lonzo the free mind to go play. His game will be a lot smoother, as opposed to trying to live up to these expectations. My daddy coming into the league and saying I'm better than Steph right now. Like, I mean, so the expectations and the stress that I feel like his dad is putting on him on the game level is hurting him. So I think if he can negotiate it in that way, where it's like, all right, you just take over the brand, because I don't think he wants to even get rid of his daddy. I think he can recognize and appreciate that my dad has a lot to do with where I'm at. Like, you know, the way that I push my son, and if I push him to that level, and then he got to that level and, like, cut ties with me because I did make a wrong turn right here. Because LeVar has to eat that. Like, you brought this dude in, like, you know, in the old mob, you know, the old mob times, like, you introduced this dude to the circle, you get killed off completely for
exactly.
that. Now, you don't want to do that to your dad, of course, but, you know, that's kind of how it happens.
Yeah,
like,
LeVar, I agree with you, Neely, real quick.
Lonzo a lot of leverage now.
I agree with you real quick, Neely. If LeVar was just a friend of the family and you brought him in, yeah, you got to go. You got to go too.
Right.
But that's the guy that taught you the game. That's the guy that built you up. That's the guy that talked to you every night before you went to sleep and told you that you was going to be the greatest player to ever play this game. You can't just cut ties with that man like that. You know, you will get that money back. Luckily, you caught it early. Luckily, you caught it in time. And I think with the Big Baller brand, the way LeVar has built it, you will get that money back times 30. I don't think that'll be an issue. But I would put people around LeVar now and say, hey, you listen to them now. You continue to be the voice. You continue to be the face. But they're going to make the business decisions. As we was talking about early, Liam, pricing shoes at $400 and you know, doing the JBA league. Where did that money come from? Like, that money had to come from ZO. You know, you're not making that money that fast after starting Big Baller brand a year or two ago. Money just don't turn around that fast.
Yeah, I think I think it gives Lonzo the chance finally to pull the reins back and feel comfortable doing it. Any other time you feel like it's almost like I'm disrespecting my dad. Like, you know, even as grown men at times, you talk to your dad and it's like just a level of respect I'm gonna always have with him. And you know, there's all of that shit is public, so you know how, like, if you got on the news and blasted your daddy, like, y'all relationship might just be over with forever. So I think now that LeVar kind of made this big mistake and it's all money and Lonzo can make it about the business, he can do it in a way that's a lot less disrespectful and still kind of put the reins on LeVar and, like, all right, this is how we kind of need things to go for us to move forward in our, you know, professional relationship.
You know, that was a perfect way to do it. Because I was trying to figure out a way how he could keep it, but still, like, hey, man, I got to do my basketball. That's exactly what he should do. Like, hey, with this basketball, just lay off of it.
Right.
You know, because I think I was telling, like Roger, we talked earlier, Lonzo is not the type of player that can have all that chatter outside and perform.
Yeah.
He's not built. The Melo is, but Melo like that shine, but Lonzo isn't like that. He can't. I think his game, and you can tell, like, he doesn't even play with confidence. Some games, you know, some games he do. One jumper, he'll get confident, but he doesn't play with the confidence, and so he needs free mind to go out there and just play, and that will help his basketball game. But then the important part on the business side is that they have to. Then he has to say, "Hey, we got to get real professional. You know, we got to act like a business. You know, some of the stuff you say with marketing, that's great, but people got to start taking the business serious.
Yeah.
Because now we're going to, you know, now it's going to be a laughing stock for a couple months. So you have to make good decisions, good hires, you know, and then the people that you hire, you got to watch the people that you want to bring in. They kind of are weary to come in because they like, man, this dude here crazy. And so you got to come in now and on a business end to make sure things. And this is another thing. He has to also understand this is not just about LeVar Ball and BBB. This is about African Americans trying to. You have to make sure that you can't any way because you a guy that's leading that charge. It's on you.
Yeah.
You do
Like I think, like Rodney said, like both of y'all was saying, the whole black brand is to me an essence at the bottom of this. That's why we cheering for LeVar, as crazy as he might sound, but everybody can't take the Suge Knight approach. Everybody can't come in like Birdman and demand it this way and Master P. Like, sometimes you got to have your Jay-Z's to build it a certain way, and you deal with and you mingle with the right people at the right time, and you build something ultimately bigger than that. Like, I feel like LeVar tried to come into the game on some Debo shit on how he gonna do it, and shit, you got a lot of goddamn rich white owners of this league that can completely tear you down and shut you down before you get anything started. So you got to come in and to me, maneuver and massage the game a certain way. And hopefully, at this point, Lonzo can kind of show LeVar, all right, this the new angle we're going to have to take. We ain't going to come in all brazen, trying to take over. Like, we here now, so now let's just build on it.
And the reason I'm disappointed in both in the situation is because they achieved the toughest thing. The toughest thing with building a brand is brand recognition. Like, I'm trying to build PvR sports, and you guys are trying to build this thing with me. And you see me posting articles and posting stuff online, and I'm trying to build it up. And I wanted to get to the point where in 4 or 5, 6 years, where people just know, like, hey, I'm going to beat PvR sports. I'm going to PvR sports to listen to this, and it just becomes that name recognition. Because if I can get the brand recognition, if I could burn that logo in your head of that shield for PvR, then I'm winning, because people are going to come looking for you at that point. And what disappointed me most is they have built the brand. They have done the toughest thing you could do when building a brand, when building a company, name recognition. And now it's about to blow up, because I feel like LeVar ego kind of hurt it, because you allowed you trust this guy so much, and you allow him to come in, and you just were doing things just to show the people that hate on you, or the people that's always talking bad about you in the media, that, hey, look at what I can do. I said I'm gonna start a league. 3 months later, I go start a league. But when you started that league, you put it in NBA size arenas, and you were trying to charge $150 to $200 a ticket.
Yeah,
wrong plan. Plan. I'll give you an example. That game, instead of putting that game in the convention center where it's going to cost you, $5,000 a game to put it in there, go over to Pine Bluff High or UAP. UAPB is perfect. Go over to UAPB and say, hey, can we use your gym to put this big baller brand game in? We'll give you guys a percentage of the ticket sales. And UAPB will take that, because that's the college. They're just trying to make money. And then you got like a 5,000 seat arena, and you selling tickets for starting off at $10 a pop, up into the first level. When you get down to the floor, you go up to like 25. Maybe a floor seat is like $40 to $50, and you're doing it that way. And when people watch it on TV, it's like they're seeing a game that's packed out, that's getting this recognition. And he did it the wrong way. Go ahead, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. If you look at Ice Cube with his 3-on-3 tournament that he had, and he kind of markets it the right way. Like, I think I saw
that's a perfect example, Liam. Go ahead with what you're saying. That's a perfect example.
One time he had it at he didn't have it at AAA. He had it at I don't remember the gym. It was like a UTA somewhere. I think University of Texas, something like that. And then I think here. He was able to have the game in AAA, but of course they have a section off. But they had the game in AAA. He was able to get it, to build it that way.
Exactly.
But he started UTA Arlington, one of their gyms.
But he's smart in how he's doing, just being able to recognize, what he has in the company. He's not trying to make the big three challenge the NBA. Like, that's not your rival right now. Like, you can't go into the arenas that they could go into. Like y'all said, he needs to understand his position and be a master of that before you level up. Like, LeVar came in wanting to be too big already. Like, he already trying to make Lonzo bigger than LeBron James, so it took 8 to 10 years to become who LeBron James was, even with the hype around LeBron James. So, like, he just jumped too deep into the water. You drowned a little bit, regain yourself, and then, slow your roll getting back out there in those deep waters now.
But if Alonzo, if I keep calling him Alonzo, if Lonzo Ball is smart, he will not walk away from this brand. He would buy out Allen, take those shares for himself because he's a 51% owner in Big Baller Brand. That would make him a 67% owner. Give his dad and his mom and his brothers the rest, the remaining shares, and he would be in control. He could hire his own CEO. He could make his own decisions. Don't walk away from this brand and name recognition that you have that's worth $100 million. It's worth more than Nike could give you today. The only thing that's worth more than it if Nike give you a LeBron James contract tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they don't give you a LeBron James contract, keep releasing shoes with Big Baller Brand. You run it. You handle everything. You let LeVar continue to be the mascot of Big Baller Brand. But he's making no decisions.
Right.
He's not making any decisions. You give him a percentage and you give him a salary. And you say, I'm making all this. We're not doing any JVA leagues. And even with LeVar, let's just go down this alley with LeVar. Let's take it down another street with him. He messed up Jello. Jello should have been in college for 4 years just to have a shot at the NBA. Just to have a shot, Liam. Just to even get to the D League.
Yeah.
Jello needed 4 years of college basketball, and LeVar took him out and put him in Lithuania, which wasn't a bad idea if you're going to tell him to stay in Lithuania for 2 or 3 years and build himself up to come back to the NBA. But you take him out of the Lithuania League, out of the Euro League, and say, okay, we're going to enter you into the draft early at 19 as if this guy can really play to that level. And then his agent informed LeVar that nobody's going to take Jello. The only chance he has is to go last overall to Golden State, or he was gonna go to Phoenix in the second round. That's the only chance, and those were slim to none. And he said a team would pick him up as a free agent, and he said we could take him out now, and he could enter next year. And LeVar said, no, we're gonna go ahead and keep him in and see roll the dice. You're playing with that kid's life. You have to protect that kid's life and his ability to earn a living at the highest level as much as you can. And I felt like in that moment in time with Jello, I felt like everything with Jello over the last year has been a bad mistake. Because if you look at it now, Jello is nothing more than what's Eli and Peyton Manning, the brother name? What's his name? Cooper Manning. You just gonna be following around, maybe assistant to one of the guys, and you're not gonna play ball when you could have had a chance to have a good career in the Euro leagues. LeBron James, homeboy, played with 6'7", 6'8", played with LeBron at St. Vincent St. Mary High School, signed a scholarship to Akron. He's played in the Euro leagues for 14 years now, the same amount of time LeBron has been in the NBA. He's a Hall of Famer over there. He's won multiple championships, multiple MVPs, and he's made a great living over there. He has endorsement deals over there and everything. So Jello could have took that route and made Big Baller Brand international by becoming an international star in the Euro leagues. But LeVar was so busy and so stuck on all my boys going in the first round, all my boys going to get drafted, one and done, all my boys this and that. And you trying to talk this thing into existence, which you had luck with, but that shit don't always work, man. That shit doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to use logic and data. When we arguing about sports, Liam and Nilly, what I tell y'all? When I'm arguing with guys on Facebook, I tell them all the time, I say, hey guys, you could come to me with all this, I see, but I said at the end of the day, minorities and black people lose a lot of times because we don't do the data digging. We always say, well, I'm going to go off my feelings. I'm going to trade this stock off my feelings, off my emotions. Instead of saying, okay, and sometimes you're right, key data points don't tell the story. They don't tell the story. So you have to be able to decipher which data is good, legit data, and which data is bad data, and make your educated, logical decision, not off emotions. And LeVar was going off emotions. Liam, I know you want to jump in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, you hitting it on the head. Another thing I want to think about is who will Lonzo get to bring on board that will be receptive, that we know somebody that he probably hire somebody. And I was thinking, what did he say?
No, I said that's a good point. Go ahead. You're making a good point.
Okay. I was laughing. Okay. But I was thinking about Maverick from LeBron's camp, or somebody within the camp, to be able to come as far as on the business. Now, they're going to want some shares. So they have to probably position it to where the shares that they could buy out from the guy Allen guy, if they could get those shares over and restructure the ownership of the business from that aspect, I think that would be helpful for him. Yep. Because I think on LeBron's camp, they definitely know what they're doing, even with clients that are not LeBron, like, your Eric Bledsoes and everyone else. So I think that may be a move he might want to consider to be able to help himself for the company.
Yeah, that's real. And when you're looking at somebody like Maverick, he's been through the LeBron drama, so he understands how to handle them. And you got to bring somebody that can handle LeBron.
But you also, you got to wonder how much these people are gonna let ego be involved in that. Like, I think they'll have to swallow a lot of pride to go under what everybody views as LeBron's camp. Yeah. Like, he'd have to swallow a lot of pride to let Maverick kind of take over and kind of run the operations. Like, he might have to go even outside of that. But they do need somebody with that type of influence, that type of following and professionalism, to get stuff done for him.
I tell you this, Nelly.
Keep somebody black doing it, of course.
Yeah, I tell you this, Lonzo has the key. And I think, like Liam said, if Lonzo put his stamp on Maverick, LeVar wouldn't have a choice but to listen and get the hell out. And I'll tell you why. Because LaMelo has already tweeted that he loved Lonzo and I'm with you, brother. So that means he's going to have LaMelo there under him. And LaMelo is going to be with him. So those are LeVar two aces in the hole right there. LaMelo and Lonzo.
Lonzo got all the leverage.
Yeah. If LaMelo is with him, LaMelo's going to be huge. LaMelo already got like 3 to 5 million followers on social media. He's going to be huge, and he's more aggressive than Lonzo, more outspoken. He's going to be more marketable. They just going to have to keep him under control so he won't do anything to kill his marketability. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to keep him under control because he'll go out and maybe, say something about the LGBT community and kill all his market ability and all that, his capabilities of making and earning marketing products. So you're right about that, Liam, but I think that's the key. And I think if Lonzo get LaMelo on his back and with him, I think that LeVar will have to listen to him. If like Liam said, if he say, Maverick, you've done this before. You're running LeBron James Entertainment Company. You made deals. I want you to run Big Baller Brand. And I think Maverick could jump on it because Maverick could understand, like, this is a company that's probably worth anywhere between $5 and $10 million, but this company has worth $100 million in just brand recognition.
Yeah.
And then Maverick will bring over other athletes too. That's what you got to remember too, Neil. I think if Maverick came, his relationship with LeBron, let's say Kuzma was saying on KD's show, The Boardroom, that he had a merch deal with Nike where he don't get paid, they just give him free merch. So what if Maverick was the CEO of Big Baller Brand, and then they started to build up business? He said, hey, Kuzma, come over here. We're gonna release your signature shoe. You do 3 years with us, and then you could go to Nike anywhere else you want to go. And he come over and he released a couple of signature shoes with him. And then you building the brand, you building the company. So I think with the name recognition already built, you got a lot of potential there. It just depends on what Lonzo want to do.
Yeah.
Last question I have on this topic before we get out of here. If that's your dad, Liam, what are you doing?
I'm doing almost verbatim what Neely said. I think that's a good way to put it because I have the leverage. You want to keep them in, and and of course, if it's my dad, I'll probably have to listen to a story about somebody he knew back in high school that
did. Shoeless Joe Wilkins. But go ahead.
So, I do what you said, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let me do this on a basketball end, but we have to get some people in here on the business end. But another thing I would have to tell them is when we get these people in here on the business end, I'm bringing these people in here to make the decisions. So, not people in here to just show. Now, they're going to be making the decisions. So, it's fine with you, going out and you marketing, you pumping the brand up, but we have to make sure that we have a plan we abide by the plan with the people that we bringing in. Cause that's what's going to be key for us making money. And I'm showing them what they do.
Yeah, I feel like it's the ultimate spread your wings moment. Like, this just, I mean, Dad, this is the time where I'm going to be a man. Like, I'm going to keep you along for the ride if you're willing to ride like this. Like, if not, then, you know, I got to move forward. Like, that, to me, that's the least disrespectful way of doing it. That's the way of, you know, making him feel like, all right, it's still your choice, Dad. What do you want to do? Like, I'm going to let you call the shot. But ultimately, these are the options that you're going to have to pick from, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's
right.
True. If it was my dad and I was in that situation, I would look at the brand. I would get with my dad and understand what role did he play in being incompetent in this situation. Like, how did you not know this guy was taking up to $1.5 million? How were you not keeping an eye on what was going on? And what relationship did you have with this guy to trust him enough with millions of dollars to just make decisions without you signing off on every little thing? You should have signed off on when you bought t-shirts, when you ordered socks, you know, you should have signed off on everything so you could have known everything. Once I got to understand my dad's role, I would never put my dad out of a business that he helped build. Well, he did most of the building and the talking to build $100 million plus brand recognition. I would just tell him, hey, you are the mascot moving forward. You're just a figurehead. I want you to keep going out, talking, running your mouth the way you run it. I want you to keep doing everything you've been doing, like nothing ever changed. But moving forward, you will not make the decisions. You will have a vote in the decisions being made, but you won't solely make the decisions.
But what are your options if he tell you he ain't willing to accept that? Like, to me, you coming off like you telling them this is how you gonna do it.
Yeah.
But what if your daddy like, nah, that ain't what I'm gonna do? Like, you then it's like, all right, I'm severing ties with you, or you reworking it another way.
Good question. So if he come out and if he came to me and said, no, Rodney, I don't feel comfortable with that, you know, and I know my dad gonna listen to this, he gonna say, you're right, you wouldn't tell me none of that shit. But at that point, I would tell him, like, hey, I'm gonna allow you to keep your shares because I want you to make money. I want you to have money. I want you to make what you build, make money off what you built. So you'll keep your shares, but you won't have any contact or anything with the company. You'll just be my father moving forward.
Yeah.
And that will be it. Get your 16%, keep it. If you want to sell it back, I would just sign a contract with him.
I think with a LeVar Ball personality, then basically you severing ties completely with your dad. Like, I don't think he's gonna be like, yeah, you can spoon feed me for your, you know, through your career from what I made. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I feel
so you saying you don't think LeVar gonna accept that? He's just gonna be like, all right, we ain't talking anymore.
Right. His personality type seems like that to me.
Okay.
But if he's a smart businessman, though, if he's a businessman like he says he is, he would say, this will let you he's really all about the show, or he actually does have some business.
Right. It would answer that question. It would definitely answer that question.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, guys, it was a good topic, man. I like that topic. I like what we discussed. Theodis, father, if you listen to this, I'll never put you out of my company. You could go and you could piss in the middle of Times Square. You would still be the CEO. Just want you to know that. But guys, thank you for today. I think this was a great episode. It was quick. It was last minute, but you guys always come prepared, man. And for everybody listening, I called these guys like maybe an hour ago, and I told them like, hey, these are the topics we're going to cover. And as you can see, they always on their game. So when you go to and you listen to this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps with the visibility, helps get us recognition on not Facebook, but YouTube, so we can get more listeners and we can grow as a brand. Thanks for joining us today. This is PvR Sports in another episode. Peace out, guys. Thank you for listening to the PvR Sports Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch new episodes and PvR clips. Like our Facebook page and share with your friends if you enjoyed this podcast. As we say in the South, catch you later.